I'll never forget that night. The room was dark, but not because the lights were off, because fear had taken over every corner of my mind. My heart raced, my thoughts screamed, and deep down I felt something wasn't right. Something was feeding that fear. You ever felt that way? Like your heart's under attack, not from outside, but from the inside? Through your thoughts, your worries, your memories? What if I told you that there's a simple prayer, a few words so powerful that when spoken with faith, darkness runs from it? Before I share that prayer, hit that like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon, because what I'm about to share could change the way you fight fear forever. Now back to that night. It wasn't the first time fear had visited me, but this time it was different. I had been reading the verse from 1 John 4:18. Perfect love casts out fear. I'd read it so many times before, but that night it felt alive. Like those words weren't just written for someone else, they were written for me. Still, a question burned inside. If God's love casts out fear, then why was I still so afraid? That's when I realized something powerful. Fear isn't just an emotion, it's a weapon. And behind that weapon, there's an enemy. You see, demons don't just want to scare you, they want to own your fear. Because fear is a door, and when it's open, it gives them permission to step in. But here's the twist. Love shuts that door completely. I remember crying out, "God, I can't fight this anymore. I'm tired." And in that moment, I didn't hear thunder, I didn't see a vision, but I felt peace. A whisper in my heart said, "Speak my name." And so I did, just one name, Jesus. The fear didn't vanish instantly, but something shifted. It was like a light turned on in a dark room, and the shadows began to lose their power. That's when I understood what C.S. Lewis once wrote. Faith is the art of holding on to things your reason has once accepted, in spite of your changing moods.
Fear thrives when we forget who holds us. But faith reminds us that even when we feel surrounded by darkness, we're already standing in God's light. Maybe that's you right now. Maybe your thoughts are spinning and fear keeps whispering lies like, "You're not enough. You'll fail again. God's forgotten you." But that's not the voice of truth. That's the voice of fear, and fear has a name, but so does love. So let me ask you something. What if you could silence fear tonight? What if you could pray one prayer that makes demons flee, not because of your power, but because of His? Before I tell you that prayer, I want you to think about this. When Jesus faced fear in the wilderness, He didn't argue with it. He spoke truth to it. He said, "It is written." That means your words carry weight when they're anchored in God's Word. And maybe that's the secret the enemy doesn't want you to know, that the moment you remember you're loved perfectly, fear loses its grip. Because love, real, divine love, isn't a feeling, it's a force. It's the presence of God Himself, and demons can't stand in His presence. So here's what I want you to comment below, right now, as a declaration. Write this: perfect love lives in me. Yes, type it out, because every time you speak truth, you're pushing darkness back. But still, I had one question in my heart that night. If love casts out fear, why do we still let fear back in? What makes us open that door again after we've already shut it with prayer? That question haunted me for days. Why do we open the door to fear again, even after God shuts it? And then it hit me. Fear doesn't knock loudly. It slips in quietly. Through worry, through what-ifs, through that one thought you keep replaying over and over again at 2 a.m. You know that feeling when your chest tightens, your mind won't stop, and you start imagining the worst before anything even happens. That's how it sneaks back in. But God showed me something powerful that changed my life forever. Fear enters through imagination, but so does faith.
I was reading the story of Jesus calming the storm in Mark 4. You remember it. Jesus is asleep in the boat, the waves are crashing, and the disciples are freaking out. They wake him shouting, "Teacher, don't you care that we're about to die?" And Jesus stands up, rebukes the wind, and says, "Peace, be still." And suddenly, silence. What hit me that day wasn't just that Jesus calmed the storm, but that he did it after the disciples panicked. He didn't reject them for being afraid. He showed them that peace wasn't about what's happening around them, it's about who's in the boat with them. And that's the moment I realized, fear only has power when we forget who's with us. Because demons can't stand in a heart that knows it's loved. They feed on fear, but they starve when you rest in love. So that night, when fear tried to creep back in, I prayed something different. Not a long, fancy prayer, just a few words that came straight from the heart. I said, "Jesus, I rest in your love. Perfect love cast out my fear." And something happened. The air in the room felt lighter. The panic stopped tightening my chest. And for the first time in a long time, I felt safe. You see, that's what demons hate. Not the length of your prayer, not the fancy words. They hate the truth behind it. Because the moment you invite perfect love in, their power breaks. It reminded me of something C.S. Lewis once said. There is no neutral ground in the universe. Every square inch, every split second is claimed by God and counterclaimed by Satan. That's why fear attacks so hard. It's a war for your peace. But love wins every time you choose to believe it. Now here's something that might surprise you. Fear doesn't always look like trembling or panic. Sometimes it looks like control. That need to manage everything, to plan every outcome, to keep people close because you're afraid of losing them. That's fear too. It just wears away. A disguise. And that's exactly how the enemy tricks us into staying anxious. Because as long as you're trying to control everything, you never fully rest in God's love. But Jesus said in Matthew 11:28, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." That's not just rest for your body, it's rest for your soul. Rest from fear, rest from control, rest from the lies that say you're not enough. That's the secret demons don't want you to discover. That peace isn't the absence of problems, it's the presence of perfect love. So tonight, when fear whispers again, don't argue with it. Just whisper back that same prayer. Jesus, I rest in your love. Perfect love, cast out my fear. Say it slowly. Let every word sink in. Because that's not just a prayer, it's a declaration, a shield, a sword. And if you've ever battled anxiety, sleepless nights, or fear that seems unshakable, this prayer isn't just words, it's your weapon. Because when you speak it in faith, you're not fighting for victory, you're fighting from victory. The victory that Jesus already won on the cross. So here's what I want you to do right now. If you've ever faced a moment where fear tried to steal your peace, comment this below. Fear, you have no power over me. Go ahead, write it. Let heaven see it. Let hell hear it. Because every time you declare truth, you remind darkness who you belong to. But here's the part most people miss. Even after praying that prayer, I still had one more encounter that tested everything I believed. A moment that would either confirm my faith or crush it completely. And it happened in the most unexpected way. A few nights later, I woke up again at 3 a.m. That same cold, heavy feeling filled the room. It was darker than before, like the fear had returned stronger, angrier. And for a moment, I froze. The shadows on the wall seemed to move. My heart pounded so hard it felt like it would break through my chest. But this time, something inside me was different. I wasn't the same person who used to panic and hide under the blanket. I remembered the prayer.
I remembered who was with me. Still, the fear pressed in, whispering the same lies. You're alone. God's not listening. You're too weak. And that's when I spoke, not out of fear, but out of authority. Jesus, I said. My voice was trembling, but my spirit wasn't. I rest in your love. Perfect love cast out my fear. Then I added, you are Lord over this house, over my heart, over this night. And I kid you not, the air changed instantly. It wasn't just emotional relief. It was like something unseen left. The heaviness lifted. The silence became peaceful. The fear that had haunted me was gone. And in that stillness, I felt the Lord's presence so clearly. Not loud, not dramatic, just a quiet whisper in my spirit. This is what happens when you stop fighting fear and start trusting love. That's when I truly understood what 1 John 4:18 meant. It says, there is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love. Fear comes when we think God's disappointed in us, when we doubt His goodness, His timing, His forgiveness. But love reminds us that He's not angry. He's present. He's for us. Demons don't run because you shout louder. They run because love walks in. Because when you let God's love fill your heart, there's simply no room left for darkness. And that's when everything changed for me. Fear didn't just leave that night, it lost its right to return. Every time it tries, I use the same prayer. Not as a ritual, but as a reminder. Jesus, I rest in your love. Perfect love cast out my fear. It's not magic, it's truth. And truth, when believed, sets you free. Now, maybe you've been living with quiet fear. Fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. Maybe you smile during the day, but wrestle with anxiety when no one's around. Listen, you're not
alone. The same love that filled that dark room that night wants to fill your heart right now. C.S. Lewis once said something that changed how I view fear forever. When we are lost in the woods, the sight of a signpost is a great matter. That's what this prayer became for me, a signpost, a reminder that no matter how lost I feel, love knows the way back. And here's what's amazing. When you rest in that love, you stop chasing peace, because peace starts chasing you. So right now, wherever you are, I want you to take a deep breath. Let go of that fear you've been holding on to, and pray this with me, slowly from the heart. Jesus, I rest in your love. Perfect love, cast out my fear. Fill every corner of my heart with your peace. Now sit with that. Feel that warmth inside, that stillness. That's not imagination. That's His presence. You've just declared war on fear, and fear can't win against perfect love. Because the truth is, God didn't give you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. That's not just scripture. That's identity. That's who you are. And that's why demons hate this prayer. Because when you believe it, when you live it, when you speak it, they lose access to your peace. So here's my challenge to you. Don't just pray it once. Make it your daily reminder. Speak it when you wake up. Whisper it before you sleep. Declare it when anxiety tries to return. Let this truth guard your heart. Perfect love doesn't just cast out fear once, it keeps fear out. And before you scroll away, I want you to do something bold. Drop this in the comments right now. Love wins, fear loses. Yes, type it, declare it, because that's not just a phrase, it's your testimony in motion. And if this message spoke to you, if it stirred something deep in your spirit, don't keep it to yourself. Hit like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who's fighting fear tonight. You never know, your share might be the moment someone else's chains break.
Remember, the same Jesus who calmed the storm with "Peace, be still" can calm your storm too. You just have to invite him in. Because when perfect love enters the room, fear has no choice but to leave.